Thank you, everyone, for joining us today for the December 6th memorial ceremony. My name is Amir Abu Bakr, and this is Bapisha Balakumar, and we are the VP internals of Ontario Tech University's Women in Engineering Society. Together, we would like to welcome you to the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women. Today, December 6th, marks the attack at École Polytechnique de Montréal. On this day, in 1989, a man who was determined to fight feminism took the lives of 14 engineering students and staff. These young women had chosen to pursue their love of engineering and science, despite the fact that engineering has traditionally been a male-dominated profession. And it is for this reason that they were murdered in what continues to be the deadliest mass shooting in Canadian history. The tragedy of that day rippled across Canada and the world and continues to shine light on acts of violence that are directed against women. It has led to conversations within our classrooms, work, and homes about inequality in the workplace, abusive relationships, sexual harassment, and assault against women and other marginalized groups. But there is still an enormous amount of work to be done. Today, women are still 11 times more likely than men to be a victim of sexual offenses and 3 times as likely to be the victim of criminal harassment. And when looking at risk factors of violence against women, being young was a consistent factor. The structural and systemic forms of violence against women must be addressed and ended.
While today we mourn the lives that were lost, we also want to share with you the stories of 30 Canadian women who graduated from engineering around the time of the massacre. While Ontario Tech University engineering did not yet exist, these women exemplify the value that women bring to the engineering profession and to society. Among them, a university president, senior technology executives, a member of the Canadian Armed Forces, and a governor general and astronaut. We hope that you are as inspired by these female engineers as we are. As we reflect on the Montreal Massacre and what might have been, we also renew our efforts to encourage the university to take action and to end violence against women and other marginalized groups that are part of our community here. Now I would like to call upon a fellow member of the Ontario Tech University engineering community, Assistant Professor Dr. El Sayed of Automotive Engineering, to say a few words. Please welcome Dr. El Sayed.
Thank you. I'm very grateful for being here today. It's been 32 years since the murder of 14 young women at Polytechnique Montréal. The National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women is about remembering those who have experienced gender-based violence and those whom we lost with. It's also time to take action. The first line of prevention is education. Educate yourself and your friends about what gender-based violence is and how to prevent it. Use your voice on social media, such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and other platforms to call for an end to gender-based violence. Here at Ontario Tech University, we recognize the need to address gender-based violence on our campuses through both education and prevention. Faculty members, students, and staff must continue to work together to develop and implement policies that address gender-based violence and provide survivor-centric services to those within our communities that have experienced gender-based violence. We have great challenges and great opportunities, and with your support, we will continue to empower these changes within our university. It's been 32 years since the Polytechnique massacre, and it's time to take action. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. El Sayed. Next, I would like to call upon another talented woman, Soma Chakraborty, Ontario Tech University mechanical engineering alumni who works for Wolf Advanced Technology and joins us in person to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to begin by conveying condolence on this, the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence against 14 women who were lost in act of gender-based violence at École Polytechnique de Montréal on December 6, 1989. I'd like to thank the Women in Engineering group at Ontario Tech University for giving me an opportunity to speak. So how my journey started? I came from an educated family in Bangladesh. My grandpa, Jyotisha Chakraborty, was a progressive person. When in 1974, he encouraged my aunt, Dr. Bandana Shaha, to complete her PhD at Moscow State University. His vision was exemplary. From this family, I have learned to always live by mantra, to be good and to do good. My father, Professor Shomisha Chakraborty, was a physics teacher, and my mom, Rita Bhattacharya, a math teacher. I believe I became interested in science and engineering from a very early age due to their positive influence. My family has always a great deal of faith in me, and because of that, I'm here today to pursue my dream in Canada. I completed my undergrad at Chittagong University of Engineering and Technology in Bangladesh. My supervisor, Dr. Shamal Kanti Bishar sir, motivated me for higher studies in North America. I began my master's at Bangladesh University of Engineering and Technology and joined as a lecturer in Dhaka University of Engineering and Technology. To get a full scholarship in North America, I had to go through professor's publication, understand the gist, and need to provide feedback about further recommendations of work. During that time, a serious medical condition requiring corrective surgery nearly sidelined me as I needed time for rest and recovery. I never stopped. Through the pain, I endeavored to find a good position in Canada. Ultimately, I was offered a scholarship at UIT in 2015. New people, new country, different weather. I was scared. My first year went very well. I was adjusting myself to the new challenges and surroundings as well. In second year, I learned I could not continue my PhD. I would have to change course and switch over to a master's program. I was completely broken, but I refused to give up. I was applying for entrance to a PhD position at Concordia University, and I needed a last piece of the puzzle, a recommendation letter. The letter did finally come in and it essentially stated, go back to Bangladesh. You are not a PhD material. Now the fun begins. During defense day of my master's thesis, Dr. Sheldon came into my life as an unexpected angel. After my presentation, he told me, bravo, Shoma, please join as a PhD student in my STEER lab. Later, I joined as a research associate in his lab. Dr. Sheldon, along with another angel, Ann Coolby, both motivated me to join in a reverse career fair at UIT in 2017. Old CTO, Greg Maynard, and HR found me at the reverse career fair. And they were impressed by my publications and research work and invited me to join as a mechanical engineer at Wolf Advanced Technology, where I now design next generation video capture and decoding systems. For extreme environment, military and aerospace application, being in the field and gaining real world experience while being fortunate enough to work with seasoned engineers is really fascinating for me. Ultimately, I have learned from all that with proper effort, knowledge, and passion, you can prove yourself in front of anyone, anywhere. All I need is passion, dedication, and courage. I have also learned how to ask the right questions and how to get to the root of any problem. Women are capable of anything. Thank you, Jacqueline McBay, Vice President Quality Engineering of OLF, for making me a strong and capable woman. My sincere appreciation for all senior leaders for encouraging me to pursue my research through design work for next generation of extreme environment cooling systems at OLF Advanced Technology. Thanks to my all colleagues and the mechanical team at OLF who always supports me in all situations. Thanks also to Professor Dr. Rosen and Dr. Sheldon for providing me wonderful opportunity at Ontario Tech University. Thanks to my two elder sisters, Moitri and Monisha, and my whole family. Because of you, I'm here today. I appreciate Maruf for motivating me not to stop myself to reach my goal. Grateful to Mospera for staying beside me during my struggle period. Thank you, Dr. Farouk, for all your effort during my thesis writing time. Why have I shared all these with you? So that you can know to reach into this position, it takes endeavor, pain, hard work, and sacrifice. But in the end, there is joy, an ultimate sense of satisfaction. In 2021, there are still lots of challenges for women, but this is not end. This is just beginning. Though I didn't finish or do my PhD, but you never know. So I'd like to quote Rabindranath Tagore poem for you. I'll translate it for you. Hobei joy, hobei joy re. O hebir, he nirbhoy. We shall overcome, we shall overcome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Soma. Finally, I would like to call upon Olga Mugisha, who is the bilingual community engagement at White Ribbon, who joins us virtually.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. White Ribbon is greatly honored to be participating in today's ceremony. As we start, I would like to begin by briefly giving an introduction about our work. White Ribbon is the largest movement of men and boys working to end gender-based violence against women and girls and promoting gender equity, healthy relationships, and a new vision of masculinity. White Ribbon was formed as a response to the Montreal massacre at École Polytechnique in 1989. As we have seen, misogyny and hatred towards women continues to be a serious and deadly issue in our society. In the midst of the COVID-19 health crisis, there has also been evidence of a global increase in domestic violence, up to 30% in countries like Canada, France, and the United Kingdom, described by United Nations as the shadow pandemic. As other panelists have noted, the need to mobilize men and boys to prevent gender-based violence and promote healthy masculinities is more pressing than ever. Today and every day, we honor and remember the women whose lives were lost to gender-based violence on December 6th. We call up men and boys to be better allies and better role models in ending gender-based violence in our communities. As we're calling, we also encourage men to be better allies to promote to end gender-based violence. And here are some of the things you can do. So one of the things that you can do to be a better ally is being more intentional about creating more diverse and equitable spaces in engineering programs through training and professional development sessions on allyship, listening to the experiences of those who have lived discrimination in these fields as well. We encourage you to take accountability and explore how you can give up privileges that enable violence towards others, such as gender-based violence, homophobia, racism, transphobia, among others as well. We also call upon the post-secondary institutions to engage students in having conversations on ending sexual violence, especially the male-dominated faculties such as engineering, science departments, among others, as there has been low engagement and commitment from this field. It's also to remember that the concepts of gender, sexuality, and oppression that we often rely on for gender equality and equity advocacy work are largely based in white, Western colonial systems of thought and do not represent the intersectionality of identities and the impacts of racial communities as well. Black, Indigenous, and other racialized scholars, writers, and artists such as Bell Hooks, Robert Alexander, Audre Lorde, and many others have gifted us with the ample tools to work towards understanding the meaning of masculinities for racialized communities. We are grateful to carry this with us here in our work and beyond. We also encourage you to explore how you can implement their works on the post-secondary level as well. We are very thankful for Ontario Tech University to be opening up dialogues for questioning and growth around the topics of masculinities, gender-based violence, and prevention and allyship as well in our upcoming workshop. We encourage folks to think about this day as an opportunity to examine what our roles in making gender-based violence work, are needed in our diverse communities. We all play a role in ending violence against women and girls, to the 2S LGBT community and everyone else in our communities as well. And the moment for now is action. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Olga, for your support in today's ceremony. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. Megan Cheris-Finn, Assistant Professor of Mechatronics Engineering, to read the names of the 14 women whose lives were lost. Joining her will be engineering students to assist with the lighting of the candles. We ask that you please stand for the candle lighting and remain standing for a moment of silence.
Geneviève Bergeron. Hélène Colgan. Nathalie Creteau. Barbara Degnaud. Anne-Marie Edward. Maud Haviernik. Maryse Lagagnère. Maryse Leclerc. Anne-Marie Lemay. Sonia Pelletier. Michel Richard. Annie Saint-Arnaud. Annie Turcotte. Barbara Klojenik Vizayevich. We will now take a moment for silent reflection. Thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated. As the ceremony comes to a conclusion, I would like to thank the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Science for helping us to organize today's memorial. I would also like to thank each and every one of you who took your time to attend this event to remember those who were lost, the lives lived, reflect on ways we can prevent such incidents in the future, and ensure respect and safety for each member of our community.
As a female engineering student, I am grateful for how far our society has come in terms of working to stop violence against women and other historically marginalized groups. I am also grateful to all the females who have consistently broken barriers, fighting for gender equality and dispelling myths of stereotypes about what women are capable of. And finally, we are also grateful for the community that surrounds us and that has supported and encouraged us along our personal and academic journeys. It is our responsibility as both a university and as a community to continue to spread awareness on ongoing gender-based discrimination and violence. This awareness must lead to actions and changes at the university itself. Together, we also have a shared responsibility to support our female students and marginalized groups as they develop into the forward-thinking leaders that we need in today's world. I ask the men in this community to continue to stand by your sisters, mothers, wives, friends, and colleagues, and to encourage them to reach further heights. Do not be afraid to stand up for what you believe in. Change starts with a single person. Let your voice be heard. As we end our ceremony today, we want to thank you for participating in this memorial service and invite you to reflect on the violence that remains a daily reality for girls and women around the world and in our community. We encourage you to share an action or a recommendation that the university or yourself personally might take to put an end to acts of gender-based violence and discrimination. We also ask that you consider how gender intersects with class, race, and disability, for example, and welcome your thoughts and ideas. We ask that your recommendation or action be placed on the message board found under the live stream. We also ask that you sign up for our workshop that will be hosted on Monday, January 17th, 2022, from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. This workshop will be hosted by White Ribbon, an organization that engages men and boys in the prevention of gender-based violence by promoting equity and transforming gender norms. In this session, we will cover definitions of sexual violence, unpack its root cause as it relates to gender expectations, and offer the audience tools to become role models and advocates in the prevention of this issue. The goal of this session will include unpacking sexual violence and gender expectations in the post-secondary sector, prevention, allyship, consent culture, disrupting rape culture, discuss how sexual violence prevention relates to your role as a student at Ontario Tech University, and bystander intervention on campus scenarios. We hope to see you all there as this concludes our ceremony. Thank you again for joining us virtually